Dana, we talk about this tender relationship that he had with his wife and with his family, but he really was somebody that it didn't matter if you were a head of state or somebody who happened to be on a garden tour through the White House. I mean, he really did make people feel like he genuinely cared about who they were, where they were from, and really just had that way about him that he valued people at every level, regardless of who they were.
That's another one of the great lessons that he taught us. In June of this year, 2018, Peter and I had a chance to go to Maine and visit with him, and he was quite sleepy that day, or dozy, I should say, relaxing. He had his head back, and he wanted to hold on to my hand as I talked to him and told him some stories, and I kept wanting to leave him be and give him some time to rest, and so I would make to leave, and maybe I'd stand up a bit, and he would squeeze my hand so hard and say, no, stay. And that, of course, you're right. He had a way of making me feel special. I'm sure he did that with everyone that came through. To Brett's point just a moment ago about how he was perceived in the presidency and the post-presidency, I remember speaking to Marlin Fitzwater, who was, of course, press secretary to Ronald Reagan and then for George H.W. Bush. And he said that when they left the White House in January of 1993, he said, we really had our heads hung low. And partly it was because he thought no one will ever know or how great a man 41 was. And he said, just look at what's happened. He is now one of the most revered people in modern history, for sure. And there's a special also relationship, of course, in history that John Adams and John Quincy Adams, of course, were the first father and son to serve as president. And when 43 was asked to write the book about 41, one of the things he asked his dad was, how did you find the strength to conduct yourself with such grace and dignity? And 41 said, I had no choice. And that is because he chose to live not bitterly, which is, again, why I think you see this tremendous outpouring. And a very sad day. I see, you're showing the pictures of him on his parachute jump. He just loved life and wanted to experience all of it.